Welcome to Divine Truth, my series speaking with others around the world as they tell their stories of pre-birth memories and near-death out-of-body experiences. Prepare to be amazed and inspired as I explore their true, incredible journeys. Hey everyone, welcome to the Paranormal Experiencer, the Divine Truth series, and today's guest is Chris the Ghost Hunter. Now, Chris, he has had many awesome experiences, but to name a few of those, he does have memories from past lives, just like I do, and it's amazing to connect with those around the world that have experienced some of the same things. Maybe not quite exactly the same, but still there's that connection there. And it's really amazing to me, how many people are having these experiences and can remember certain things from their past lives. Before I go any farther, I'm just going to go ahead and say hello, Chris. Chris and I have been talking behind the scenes. Chris is I appreciate you so much for being here and telling your stories.
On that note, I think because the spirits know you're live, uh, things might happen. Like you might see that door behind my bed move.
Okay.
The spirits are very intelligent to where if anyone in chat can see them, I've been told there's a Spartan, a Roman, and a Persian that happened to. I don't know how they're over here in America, but I guess in the afterlife they understand each other, even though
Yes,
the languages are different.
yes, they do. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've noticed on that point, I have noticed, I've had Native Americans come to me. Actually, I have a spirit guide that's a Native American. I've had many different cultures, and I've had those that have come to me speaking different languages, and then I say, I'm sorry, I don't understand, and then all of a sudden they speak in English. Somehow they know. So
Uh,
it's very amazing how those things work. So I do absolutely believe that, where a person may have lived in a physical body doesn't mean that once they cross over that that's how things are now, because I do, because I have experienced it, I do believe that the spirit realm, the consciousness it's all, it's everywhere. So, all right. So, Chris, what would you like to start with? Would you like to start with your past lives or about the dragon?
uh, how will we start with past lives?
Okay.
Because the one I'm sure people are probably interested in is the Civil War, considering the state of our country right now.
Hmm.
Uh, the past life from the Civil War, family Irish immigrants. Father was a soldier. Mother was a trained sniper, even though she was not trained by the military itself. The dad trained her uh, to keep the family safe. Train the little ones how to handle a gun if the unthinkable were to happen.
Mm.
Uh, one of the kids actually could uh, hit a squirrel in the nuts without killing it. That's how accurate her shot was.
Oh, wow.
If
Wow.
you get my meaning by squirrel nuts.
Yeah. Well, I can understand that. I live in the country, and I used to, I can't say I can now, but used to about 30 years ago, I was a dead shot. Yeah, yeah, that was me.
Uh, so where my past life came in was I joined the army simply because they saw that I was a good shot. Someone saw me hunting, and I was able to get a kill shot every single with a single bullet.
Wow.
I knew where to shoot to take an animal down so it wouldn't suffer.
Hmm.
And I was actually recruited to be the commander for the Irish Brigade of the Union Army.
Wow.
And that's where all the spirits come from. The soldiers from the Civil War, if you hear them say commander,
Hmm.
it's out of respect because they knew who I was in that life.
Yes, yes,
Because they may have been soldiers I served with in World War II.
I see. So Chris, now you say that I know you were telling me behind the scenes that you have been having these, like you can remember your past lives since age 3 and having these experiences. And I know I was 3, and I say 3 because that's as far back as I can remember.
Yeah, and the three, that's the first paranormal experience. It didn't happen again for like 20 years. Every kid has a ghost friend or imaginary friend. I had an
Yeah.
imaginary dog.
Mhm. Please tell us about that.
I I don't know if it was a ghost dog because I can't see the spirits. Never could. But what I told you behind scenes about that person that I don't want to talk about
Yes.
because there's bad blood.
Hmm.
Uh yeah, she had the Hat Man up here. And I kid you not, I can physically see spirits, but I could see the shadowy outline of it. That's how condensed its energy was.
Mm. The Hat Man, that is, oh my gosh, that is something, an entity that truly, I do not want to ever experience again because I know that my dad and I both have witnessed the Hat Man, and it's not a pleasant feeling whatsoever. It's like a huge doom and gloom type feeling of negativity. And so I can definitely relate to you, Chris.
Well, I think I've personally seen something similar, but people call it the Top Hat Man.
Okay.
Completely different entity.
Okay. Okay.
So I was at work out in the parking lot because I was on carts. I
Uh-huh.
work at a grocery store. So the sun was setting and the sun was casting a shadow from a car, but from the shadow rose this creature. Like the shadow was standing up and it looked like something take what everyone thinks Slenderman looks like,
Hmm.
tall, slender,
Hmm.
but with a top hat.
Okay. Okay.
It appeared and then I turned away to continue what I was doing because I thought it was just my eyes playing tricks on me.
Hmm.
So I turned back and it's gone. The shadow, the car shadow is back on the ground.
Uh-huh.
This thing took the shadow from the car to form itself. The shadow of the car disappeared. That's not possible according to our laws of physics, energy, and motion.
Right. Right. Yeah, and that's a lot as far as the paranormal. When a lot of us experience these type of things, other people, they're just so quick to assume that we're nuts, that we're seeing things
Yeah.
that aren't
Uh,
there, that aren't real. but it is very real.
Me, I try to find a logical explanation first before jumping to the paranormal conclusion.
Yes.
Because I understand science, but I'm a scientific person, but I'm also a spiritual person.
Yes.
So I try to figure out if my fan's on and something's moving, I turn the fan off, see if it's still moving. If there's a temperature change, make sure there's no open windows, no breeze coming from somewhere. I try to find a logical explanation.
Mhm. Right. Well, and and I do too. And I feel like that's the best way, honestly, to go about it because, there's things. I'm a medium, right? So, it would be easy for me so many times, to say, oh my God, because I'll ask my husband, I'll say, did you see that? Or did you hear that? And then I'm like, okay, hold on a minute. So then, I have to go look, was it a mouse? What, making that noise? What was making that noise? Was it a spirit? Because there are some times like you're saying, it isn't the spirit realm. It's nothing paranormal. It's a normal crack in the floor. It's a mouse, getting into something in another room.
Yeah,
So we do have to be very careful. But once we, eradicate as much as we possibly know to do of anything that, it could be
right.
in the 3D realm, um, that's where it leads to, I
Yeah,
feel like beauty. Even if it's negative, I don't like to be around the negative entities. But I'm saying the beauty in the fact of understanding that there's so much more that we can experience, and learning about that, things that a lot of us just weren't taught, as a child.
or we're told to fear.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh my gosh, Chris, Bluegrass Paranormal, Marsha, she said that I have seen the same man to a top hat. It's very interesting. That's so awesome.
Give me a second. I'm just sharing the stream out to another group of friends on
Absolutely.
Discord because I both of them are incredibly psychic and like in tune with nature.
Oh,
Uh,
wonderful.
one is from Puerto Rico,
Uh-huh.
uh, and he's seen some shit happen around his school.
Uh-huh.
So they have this quote bamboo forest, and he saw a Slenderman.
Oh, wow. That is so
Uh,
fascinating.
because of the history of Puerto Rico, there's blood everywhere in the soil, so to speak.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah. Then my friend that I told you about, the one that was my sister in the past life,
Uh-huh. Right.
the one that calls me Big Bro.
Hmm.
Uh, if you see Alma Lovers One, the Puerto Rico friend,
Hmm.
uh, I jokingly call him Gerbil, but his name is Gerardo.
I love it.
But he finds it funny too that I call him Gerbil.
Yeah. I'd say.
Uh,
Hey everyone, just hopping on. Very glad to see you. Hi Eli family. Hey Fox. So okay, okay. Yeah, so Marcia is saying also, um, I see and hear things all the time that nobody does. Yeah. Yeah. And Chris, I know you say you don't see things, but as far as visually, like seeing spirits, but we don't have to. We've all got different gifts and amazing things that we've experienced. But you remember your past lives, which is so
to a
cool.
to a certain extent.
Right, right. It's like little bits and pieces that we're allowed to remember. Is that
Yeah,
what
it's
you experience?
yeah, it's flash images that if I'm like just sitting here like with my eyes closed and I just let like energy flow, I'll
Uh-huh.
see flash images, or me and my friend will be doing like a spirit box just like on our own. Like I'll be writing down names because I write down what words pop up,
Uh-huh.
and then I start asking questions like I start asking questions while the spirit box is going off, and I've gotten things that have come through that were spot on.
Nice.
My first name has come through. My middle names come through. My brother's names have come through.
Wow. Yeah, I mean this is real. And I feel like, I know we have some paranormal investigators that are on here right now with us as well. And I'm sure that they can agree, you know getting the data, the scientific data, is not the easiest with the paranormal, right? Because you have, okay, just like me, for instance. Okay, I say I'm a psychic medium. Okay, now how do I prove it? Other than saying, telling someone, okay, I saw this in vision, so prepare for this to get ready to happen. And then it happens. Other
Or
than
you
that, though, how? Right?
symbol, you tell someone something that they only their family would know.
True. True.
Say you are helping a client and their grandmother is like talking to you, and their grandkid is like, I want to know if my grandmother's still here. And she's like, tell her I'm standing right here.
Right?
And
Right?
then they see the kid's nickname, like the grandkid's nickname that the grandmother had for them, and they're like, "How do you know that name? Only my grandmother called me that."
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you
Right?
just say, "She literally has her hand on my shoulder talking to me."
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that is so true. But like when we okay, when we now, I'm not particularly what I would describe myself as an investigator. However, I do clear homes. I have, so within clearing homes, if it's necessary, then I do have to do my own type of investigation. But I think, I really think you'd feel that it's so important to get this documented information, whether it's through a spirit box or what type of scientific device, that we can say, okay, this is coming through. And hey, Robin, thank you. I'm so glad that you're here with us today. But yeah, because having that raw data, that scientific data, and saying, okay, this is the information that came through, just like saying your voice, saying your middle name, Chris, all these things, that, because I know I hear. Now, I don't use a spirit box myself, because I hear spirit realm, and I don't want to do anything to decrease my abilities, if that makes sense. I feel like I would become dependent on the machine.
I
You see what I'm saying? But
on
yeah,
For me, I can't necessarily hear the spirit world,
yeah.
but I've had several occurrences of something mimicking my mother's voice when I was the only one home.
Oh, you have. Uh-huh.
And it was perfectly mimicked, and it said Chris, and it was my mother's voice. But my mother was not home.
Yeah, I have chills. I'm getting chills right now. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, that does happen. Um, you know, so Chris, now I also know that, I have, a lot of paranormal friends that, they use all these different devices. I don't even know the names of them. I would know, if someone mentioned them to me, I might would know. But just to speak of them, I couldn't tell you, because I don't use them. That's the only reason. But I love them, and I'm so thankful, and appreciate that these devices are out here now for us to get this documented data, about these other realms that are real. So now, I also know that. some of my paranormal friends, they've made comments that, like certain apps they use, they don't know whether to trust it or not. And anybody that's watching this, whether it's live or if you're watching it later, I would love to know your thoughts about if you have actually experienced certain apps or devices that you have been iffy about, because that might help someone in the future. If you've not had a good experience with it or things were coming through that didn't make sense to you,
The the
that's very interesting.
the one that the two I use, uh, if I turn my brightness down, it might be easier to see. The one that has the hand right here.
Uh-huh.
I went to Gettysburg a couple years ago, and me and my mom did a midnight to 3 a.m. Ghost hunt with a group of people. My mom paid for it because it was my birthday, and
Oh,
we decided to do the 12 to 3 a.m. one.
mm-hmm.
The investigator recommended that we download it. The very first thing that came through when my mom opened the app was
Uh-huh.
my great grandmother's maiden name. Immediately, the very second she turned it
Oh.
on.
So that was a sign for you that, hey, use this app because this is real. This is going to work for you.
I paid the $2.99 to get rid of the ads.
Wow.
And then there's Necrophonic.
Mhm.
That's the other one I actually like.
Oh, so I can't even get it out. I'm so excited. I apologize. I'm like, ah. So the necrophonic. Okay, I know several people that have used the necrophonic. Now, I would love to hear. Have you actually experienced? Have you taken
Yes.
any journey?
I on my own, which is probably stupid. You should never do a spirit box alone. It's like a cardinal sin in the paranormal.
Yeah,
Don't do anything paranormal alone.
yeah.
Uh, I flat out asked the spirit world, what is waking me up at night? Because I've been woken up consistently for months between like 3 and 5. I flat out asked, what is waking me up? And several spirits, it's a demon.
Okay. And
And
how did you feel?
I asked repeatedly to see if it was like a just a frequency that we came through, but it
Hmm.
was over. It sounded like it was different frequencies
Okay.
when it's a demon.
Okay.
So I contacted a friend on Twitter who is a lightworker, and
Hmm.
she sent me a photo of a symbol to like to draw on the wall with my finger at all the
Hmm.
entryways, and that happened. That worked for a while.
Okay. Okay. So what you're saying is, just so I can make sure that I understand and that the viewers can understand. So you're saying that when it's actually a demon that's coming through the machine, that it speaks through different frequencies. It
It
sounds
you
different.
could you would be able to tell the different frequencies. These were, I'm pretty sure, it was human spirits that were warning me. My spirit guides warning me.
Got it. Okay.
That's why it was different frequencies. The pitch, I mean. But
Mhm.
when it's a demon, you could hear it across one wavelength, and it's a consistent voice, not
Okay.
jumping from wave to wave.
Now, see, that's very interesting that it's coming through like that on a device because I experienced the same thing um, when psychically. So it's almost like it's kind of like someone speaking through like almost like a megaphone sometimes. It almost sounds like partly computerized with human voice, but the voice is very low and deep and it's at a different frequency. So,
And whenever I open it, I turn on airplane mode so I don't get interference.
oh,
Here's a good idea of
Yeah.
when you're in it. And if anyone uses the necrophonic and you're in a paranormal investigation, turn on airplane mode so you don't have notifications coming through.
Okay.
That way, you can validate that it's not interference from radio waves.
Oh wow. I mean that makes a lot of sense. I would not have known to do that myself.
Because your airplane mode stops all function from outside interference. Anything that comes through that app now is more validated.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. So now have you now as far as like the necrophonic app, have you had success using that as far as the end
Yes.
of the adventure?
I don't have any spirit boxes. That's why I have these apps. Because I can't afford the $60 for a ghost box.
Got it.
The necrophonic was $10.99.
Mm-hmm. Got it. I know. Now Bluegrass Paranormal. She is saying we like to use the spirit box, a ghost tube, and the paratext, but we always test them side by side to see if results line up on all apps with spirit box. You can get some amazing results. Oh, I bet. Oh my gosh.
I saw a live investigation where the investigators were at 3 different locations. They were running the same spirit box app, and they were getting, I kid you not, the responses were the same, dead on in all 3 locations.
Oh wow.
Someone was in a location on the East Coast, one was in a California haunted spot, and one was down in Texas.
Oh my gosh, that far apart. That is really
Yes, and they
interesting.
were, I think they were using this, or they were live on TV or something. They were doing a experiment, and
Hmm.
they were communicating with each other like video call or whatever,
Hmm.
so that they could hear the other's responses at the same time.
Oh wow. Let's see, Eli family. It's a scary experience for the spirit when you use them on them. Oh, when you use the what exactly, Eli family? Are you saying when you use devices with them? Or because I do understand what you're talking about. That's what that is, or if it's a specific if it's the necrophonic, I think is how you say it. Is that right?
Necro.
Necrophonic.
Necro means dead. Phonic is phone.
Okay.
It's phone for the dead.
Okay. Okay.
Like a necromancer. Necro
Okay.
is dead. Same
Okay.
idea. It's a phone. Think of the necrophonic as a phone, a landline between our world and the spirit world.
Okay.
You're just waiting for a spirit to pick up.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. So,
And a lot of the time when I use it, all the spirits are trying to talk at once. And I ask the spirits, please, one at a time.
yeah.
And then you hear them like quiet down, almost as if they're lining up single file to talk.
Yes. Yes. I have that happen a lot as well.
As long as you're respectful and you show that you're putting your foot down.
Uh-huh. Yes. Yes, respect is the number one thing. And Bluegrass Paranormal said true, but we always ask permission from the spirits before we start any investigation to use a device. And that's beautiful because, yes, I feel like, respect is the number one thing because, a lot of times what I have found, this is just me, okay, but what I have found is that a lot of the spirit realms who haven't crossed over into the love of God, who are what some people call stuck in between, or decide not to cross over, waiting on a loved one to come along with them, or they're
Or they
attached
simply
to
have chosen,
something.
or if
Yes,
they've simply chosen to stay because they
yes.
would rather be in this plane because they can mess with people.
True.
Say you had a family member that
Yeah,
swore on their grave that when they died, they would just haunt people just for the fun of it.
yes. Yeah, that's true because I have noticed with interaction with some spirits that they are still those. Now, I'm speaking of strictly the spirit realms of those who have chosen not to cross over. Are still in their same collective consciousness or their same consciousness as they were in human body. So if they were a nasty person before they crossed over,
They're gonna be a POS in death.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
they're still the same until they decide to go ahead and leave.
unless someone has enough, can talk some smack into them and make them, so to speak, open their eyes and forgive the past.
Yes, yes. Which
Because if
that's
someone is holding on to like a regret
hmm
and it just,
yes. Yeah, because and that's kind of like where I come in a lot of times is, then I help cross people over if they want to be. I pray with them. Um, and I was an investigation, if that's what you want to call it. It was with family members that lived in a very
old
old
home.
home. And 3 days prior, like 3 days prior to that, I began by staying in meditation for 3 days, only coming out long enough to potty break, eat, things like that, to receive all the information I could, connecting with the spirits there prior to going. And I was shown what the house looked like. I drew it all, all that stuff prior to, and sent it to the people that owned the home. So the family met with me there, and it was exactly like what I saw the house, and I drew, the driveway, everything was like exactly. So there was a very negative entity, and this is a place here in Richmond, Kentucky, that was out way past Barnes Mill Road. Bluegrass Paranormal may be familiar since you're here in Kentucky, where I'm talking about, but way back on Barnes Mill Road, and it's out by this little creek. But there was a very negative energy there. But come to find out, what had happened was we have a lot of uh, uh, what do you call them? Like fences, or I'm not sure what you actually call them. Help me out here, Bluegrass Paranormal. They're the rocks. So we have the stone rocks, like the stone fencing, like all
Stone
kinds of
walls.
places from, years ago. And what had happened was there were people on that property that were dark skinned that had been slaves. And they actually had built those beautiful, like entranceways and, the fencing and all that, but they were still on the property with that very negative entity. Now, the KKK was actually on that property. I didn't just see them, there were three, but the people that owned the property saw them. We all saw that together, because I had actually I had helped cross over the the slaves, okay, and help them be at peace. But then they literally saw this negative energy pick up. I had a candle lit, and because that's something I always keep, my white candles. That's very important for me, because for me that's the light of God, okay, and that's purity and love. And the white candle actually began to move on its own. It wasn't because of wind, nothing like that. It was like someone had actually picked it up and was moving it, like, what's this, okay. And so it kind of freaked them out a little bit. But then, we saw across the way, off of the property, but right beside it, we saw the KKK from, in spirit, that were still roaming there. So that's where the negative energy had came into play in that situation. But they did not want to move over. They didn't want to cross on because they had fear of judgment, you know. So, but I did make sure that they were not allowed to come back on the property. And so, but however, the beauty of it is that those that wanted to cross over, it was almost as if they were being in spirit realm, they were being held there by this negative energy. And they didn't want to be, they wanted to move along. And it was really, it was honestly, it was really sad, but it was beautiful at the end, you know.
I've
um
heard many stories where something dark, not necessarily evil, but
mhm,
just a really bad person that was strong, holds spirits captive, blocking out the light, so to speak,
mm, mhm.
until you invoke the names of the angels. And I will say this, I have a friend who not only had one angel speak through him, but God and Jesus. It was not for very long, but they spoke through my friend. And my friend did not remember anything afterwards.
Oh, because where you were channeling.
Yeah.
Mm,
It's some something happened and something was attacking him. He had like gone to go use the bathroom, something was physically attacking him, and his roommate was like, "We need help, he's freaking out."
mhm,
Like something was physically beating him and was trying to take over.
mhm.
So they contact me because they know that I was a mutual friend, and now I don't know if this video is still out there. I don't know if it's still on his channel. I don't know if he got rid of it. I don't know if I still have it. I don't remember if it was on my side, his side. I don't remember.
Okay.
This was a couple of years ago. I do remember that my friend was sitting in his bathroom shirtless because I guess he had just gotten out of the shower and something decided to attack him.
Mhm.
But he was still trying to fight it off because he was able to call for help. Said, get one of my paranormal buddies, I guess. And one of his friend, his roommate, contacted me on what, before this site existed, we had Google Chat or whatever it was called
Mhm.
that was integrated with YouTube. So you could
Okay.
just push a button and go live straight
Oh.
away. Kind of like this, but it was linked to your YouTube when you log into Google.
Oh, okay.
So you could just hit a button and go live, and it would go straight live. But you would have to like click go live and put a title, obviously. But you could also have a chat room that's not live and just for chatting.
Mhm. Wow, okay.
But they did away with it because it was obsolete. I think it was called Google Video, Google Chat. Someone remember? If someone knows what I'm talking about, I can't remember what it's called. I know that Google Voice is still around. You can get a Google number and you could call anyone from a different number from
Mm.
your phone or your computer.
Oh, uh-huh.
Say I wanted to call one of my friends, I could mess with them.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, so like I know with my expertise, if that's what you want to call it, in technology, I'm not at that point of understanding yet.
Well, if you
I have a
go on
lot
your
to learn.
computer and just type up Google Voice, you can choose a number that's from the other side of the country or anywhere in America, but it will uh if you just like default, it will go to your area code.
Okay.
But you can Google like San Francisco's area code and just like put in 619, which is San Diego.
Okay.
I just happen to know that because a pro wrestler is from San Diego. If anyone knows who I'm talking about, Rey Mysterio is from San Diego.
Okay.
And his signature move is the 619, which is the area code for San Diego.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think that Eli gets it. This whole time I had the ghost hunting tools running, and then the last word it said was bread or beard.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Chris, now, um, okay, so we know that at 3 is when you had sort of like your first past life memory, right?
Well, that was
Or
involving the dog.
okay, oh yeah, that was involving the dog. And then you didn't know
20,
all that time until like your early 20s, like me, that
yeah.
what was going on.
So what I told you about the last stream,
Hmm.
when I was just laying on my bed on Discord talking to my friends. Out of nowhere, I just passed out for 5 minutes. But what I realized is that my heart did stop for less than a fraction of a second,
Okay.
and I was outside my body floating up.
Oh, okay.
But I had this almost like a tether to my body, so I would not escape.
Oh, wow. Okay.
A lot of cultures, they say that if you're not dead, if you did not die, your spirit will be tethered to your body, so something can't jump in and take over.
Oh, that is fascinating. I have not heard
That
that.
because people that spirit walk, like uh, when they can travel freely from their body in their sleep,
Hmm.
they have a tether so they can't r- roam too far from their body.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you calling the tether the spirit cord?
Yeah,
Our spirit cord? Oh, well, yeah. Okay,
same
I got
thing.
you.
Spirit
Yeah.
cord, spirit chain, spirit
We,
rope,
yeah,
whatever
we
you
do
want to call
have
it.
those. We do, because I saw myself. Oh my gosh, I have to tell this. I have seen myself, Chris, and now my body was asleep. What happened was I was waking up because I felt like I had to go potty, okay? And as I was waking up, my body couldn't move, but I saw my spirit self beside the bed and I watched my head literally like stretch. It was like my spirit stretched out and went into my stomach and I saw a silver umbilical cord. But it was like my body just went like this and then down into my body. And then I could move and get up and go potty. And I was just like, what just happened? But it's what took me some time before spirit was began revealing to me that that was our spiritual cord. So it's kind of like, like a fishing line. You
Yeah,
throw that fishing line out, but as your body is starting to say, hey, I need to wake up to whatever body function or whatever, then all of a sudden your spirit starts reeling back in. But
exactly.
and I
Uh,
happened to wake up before I was reeled in.
uh, I forget what it's called when people can spirit walk, when they can freely move uh in their sleep. I forget what it's called. Astral projecting. The same thing applies when you're astral projecting. You have a tether so that nothing steals your body while you're not home, so to speak.
I see. That makes sense.
Your body is still alive. A part of your energy is just freely moving.
Mhm.
You're not completely out of your body. Your energy is being split. Because if your spirit left your body, it'd be a shell, and anything could jump in and take over.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Oh my gosh, Chris. Oh, okay. Let's see. We have got so many comments here. Wow. Thank you guys for all the comments because it really interests me to hear all of these views and what your thoughts are on these things. Let's see. I'm going to skip down. Let's see. Chris is an awesome dude. Yes, Chris is absolutely. He's so intelligent and so interesting. I love these topics. And Bluegrass Paranormal said yes, agree. Okay. Eli's had a lot of experience. Oh, the show's awesome too. Thank you. Thank you. That's sweet. Um, okay, so yes, Eli, you are coming on. I can't wait. Woo! Okay, so Eli said that he's had some interesting, which he has. I haven't heard everything, just so everyone knows. Just little bits and pieces. But that's upcoming. But Eli family said, very interesting. I seen myself in a body bag too. And then, and even balled up as a baby crying in the center of my hospital room as I was on a ventilator because of COVID and pneumonia. And listen, anyone that has not, that watches this and you have not seen Eli family, you have not seen his story, please go to his channel and watch his story because this is absolutely amazing. And I have to tell you that I have experienced not everything and not the same way. Okay. Our experiences are different, but there seems to be a common denominator with many of these experiences. So I have to say that I do relate on a small sense. I do relate of what Eli is saying. So please go check that out. Okay, very very interesting. And then Eli said, I had voices telling me messed up stuff and being tortured. Yes. And then it kept changing. Let's see, what is this? It kept serious another time. Okay. All right. So I think we're caught up. But yeah, I mean, Chris, I really feel like it's so interesting about, how we can some of us are remembering our past lives. And now you say that your remembrance is coming through dreams, dreamlike visions of
Or if I just meditate.
hmm That's how mine came through in meditation. Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be in a call with a friend and I'll just space out and they're like, dude, you there? And my one friend said, your face was changing. Like something was trying to take over, but I can't channel
hmm
whatsoever.
But it just
I
happened.
but my eyes were closed. I was just trying to relax, trying to push back any negative energy.
Uh-huh.
And I think the reason why nothing can actually uh, channel through me is because of my animal spirit.
hmm Oh yes, we have to hear about this beautiful dragon animal spirit.
I Now my spirit sister, she told me that the dragon that my dragon, uh, now she's what I like to call a mind wanderer. She can enter people's minds and see like the rooms that are in their mind.
Oh wow.
Uh, and she's one of the few people I allow because I absolutely trust her.
hmm
Now people are going to say, don't trust anyone ever because everyone's evil.
Well,
And the
that's
dragon has his own. The dragon in my mind has his own bedroom. It's a giant door, and its name is carved in the door, but it's in ancient Gaelic, so I can never read it.
Uh-huh.
I can never know his name.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. Uh, Another dream I had. Uh, I was fully conscious enough to know that I was in a dream.
Okay.
So when I realized that there was an intruder, something was trying to infiltrate my dream, and
Oh.
it took the form of, if anyone's an anime fan, this thing looked like a cross between a demon and the 50-meter, the colossal titan from Attack on Titan.
Mm-hmm.
Big SOB.
Oh, wow.
So I pulled what any main character would do. I pulled out every single power I knew of and literally made it turn tail.
Mm-hmm.
Because I stated, this is my realm, my dream, my rules. And
Yeah.
I literally channeled every. And I stated that, and I literally took control. It tried to attack me. I just said, do you really think that's going to work? And I literally crushed its hand.
Mm-hmm.
And its arm disappeared when I crushed it.
You know, Chris, I totally understand because all of my childhood, I had these horrible recurring dreams that were tormenting to me, not knowing I was a medium. I didn't know I had any kind of abilities whatsoever. All I knew was I was getting attacked when I was awake. I was getting attacked in my dreams. I had no peace as a child. And, because my dad was a Pentecostal holiness preacher, and I'm not saying anything bad about that. I'm just saying because of how I was raised, um, everything was, well, let's just say I didn't have a mentor. I had no one to talk to about what I was experiencing. And it was hell. And going and me experiencing, it's not like you can tell a child, okay, honey, we'll go to sleep. It'll all be okay. No, no, it wasn't okay. I was tormented in my dreams. And so it's like this stuff is very real. And it took me, like you're saying, Chris, it took me understanding that I could actually control in my dreams while in that dream state, that I could control. I could begin saying, this is just a dream. This is a dream. This entity is not allowed in my dream. I have control over this entity. No, you have to leave. But see, I didn't know those things. I had no one to teach me these things. So it took
And
years.
it, there's only two times I now in my dream that I knew I was asleep. Because I walked into a room, big white room, almost like a sumo wrestling ring, like the
Uh-huh.
circle, and I guess my opponent, so to speak, appeared. And I literally use not all my knowledge of anime, and I literally whoops it, be it so bad it disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I landed back on the ground, because I decided, you know what, I'm tired of being on the ground. I'm just going to levitate because I wanted to punch it in the nose.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, to me, okay, so like Chris, I would have people, my family, and again, I'm not saying anything bad about my family. They didn't know. My dad has these gifts too, okay, but he did not understand. He's just now he's 76. He's just now understanding he's a psychic medium, you know so it took us years, but you have people because of their belief systems or because or it could be traditions, whatever. They don't understand, and so that they'll say, oh well, it's night terrors, it's this, it's that. But the thing is, if it's night terrors, then why did I see the same entities when I was awake attack me? Why did I see that? Okay, that's not a night terror. That's broad daylight, awake, up, walking around, and this same entity is there. And it didn't just torment me, it tormented my stepsisters and my stepbrother that lived there at the time. So these things are real and they can get into your dreams. And it can be devastating if we
Yeah.
don't understand we have control.
Right after I got rid of the intruder,
Mm-hmm.
I kid you not, a door just appeared in the middle of the room, and it opened. And my guess is that it was one of my past lives,
Uh-huh.
because the entity decided to show up before he could show up, so it stopped uh his entrance because
Mm-hmm.
it was an intruder. And I guess my mind and my spirit had a failsafe built in,
Uh-huh.
which is why I was able to acknowledge that it was a dream because of the failsafe. Or maybe it was my animal spirit that whispered in my ear, "Hey, you're dreaming. Time to take action."
Mm-hmm. So what did Eli say? Okay, my mother's, let's see. Oh, Eli, I'm so sorry. Eli, oh, bless your heart. I am so sorry. Oh, you'll have to, if you feel comfortable, you'll have to tell me about that. Yeah. When we do our show or meet or whatever, however you're most comfortable about it. But yeah, and Bluegrass Paranormal said, yes, they can. They can come into your dreams. But it is definitely something that is can be extremely tormenting, especially to a child. And I know my mom. I don't want to say a lot about my mom. I'll just say, because I love her dearly. Okay, I'll just say that like every parent does their child, if they're not aware about a child having abilities or the spirit realms being real, um, with my poor mom, I would scream bloody murder every night. I don't know how my mom got any rest. She would have to come sleep with me. She and my dad, until they divorced, I was 16 years old. I was 16 and had to have my mom sleep with me, waking up screaming blood every night. It wasn't because I was dependent on my mom. It was
It was
because
because
I
she
was
was
being,
protective.
yeah, I was being tormented.
Perhaps
And
unknowingly, her light was so bright that the spirits would stay away because of her spirit energy, and
it,
they decided GTFO.
it very well could have been. I remember my mom, she would open the Bible because my closet doors would literally do this. We had the metal kind that
The
they don't.
accordion.
Yes, that's it. The accordion. That was what I had in my bedroom, and they would literally do this, and I would just scream, and my mom would come in there, and she would lay the Bible. Um, she would open it up, but I don't remember what she opened it up to.
Probably
But
the Old Testament.
I can't remember. I wish I knew. I really wish I knew, but I can't remember. But she would open it up, and she would sit it on one of the shelves in there, and we would pray, and then it would finally stop. But this stuff, I understand people think that it's crazy. I can understand their point of view, but what I can say is be so thankful if you haven't experienced that, because um, you have so much to be thankful for.
Because you can have a family member that's watching you. Now I remember. Does anyone remember the show Celebrity Ghost Stories?
What was it?
Celebrity Ghost Stories.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, one of the gentlemen that was on there before he became famous. I can't remember who it was, but he was driving through LA because he was down his luck. He had his old yellow bug. He had a Volkswagen Beetle, and he saw a stray dog that he was just being kind to. The dog was laying on the floorboard of the passenger seat, and he got into an accident. Everyone was okay, just minor injuries like
Mm-hmm.
scratches and that kind of thing. But he swears that his grandmother he never met because she passed before he was born
Mm-hmm.
pushed him back into his seat because he was going to go through the windshield.
Oh,
And the
oh.
dog was okay. The dog was okay. The person
Mm-hmm.
he T-boned, the mom and the daughter had minor injuries, no press charges because it was an accident.
Mm-hmm.
He looked away for a second to make sure the dog was okay. And that's when the T-bone happened.
Oh my God.
They were coming out of a neighborhood and he was on the main road
Uh-huh.
and they got T-boned, but everyone walked away with minor injuries.
Wow.
Like his head hit the steering wheel and the EMT was trying to check on him and he
Uh-huh.
was like, I'm fine. He was more concerned about the family he just hit.
Mm-hmm.
And they were fine. Just a little shaken up.
Yeah. Well, that I'm
I
thankful.
cannot remember who the gentleman was
Mm-hmm.
because it was before he became famous.
Okay.
And according to his parents, he was later told by his parents that his grandmother, they saw his grandmother's spirit watching over him when he was a baby.
Oh wow.
They physically saw her standing at the crib watching over him. Don't remember if it was the mom that saw her mom or if it was the dad's mom.
Mm-hmm.
But the gentleman's grandmother was deceased before he was born.
Okay. And I have heard of that happening a lot. Honestly, I really have. I don't know about anyone in the chats or watching this later on. If you have experienced anything that, like Chris has just stated, with a grandparent coming through to protect a newborn or an infant, something like that, I would love to hear about that as well because that's something that really interests me too, because I do believe we have spirit guides. Because I see them. I've seen mine. I communicate with them. I communicate with other people's guides. I know that they come through. Now I have not seen, like, physically seen a child and seen a grandparent in that manner, like with my eyes. But I have seen, with my third eye and my crown chakra being open, I have seen, the grandparent come through. Like if I'm doing a reading for someone or something, I'll ask, or they'll ask, would the grandparent please come through? I will see them then, but I haven't actually seen that, what you're describing, but I've heard so many people describe that, and it come across on cameras, people catch it on camera, it just is so beautiful to me, you know?
And what I was saying earlier about off camera, what I said about the cats being spirit workers,
Yeah.
uh, the Egyptians saw the cats as gods and goddesses because there were certain entities that feared cats, like demons that feared cats because they were gods.
Hmm.
And that's why they were, when the cats died, they were mummified with the pharaoh
That makes sense. Hmm. It
because
really does.
the pharaoh would need spirit protectors in the spirit world for his journey to the afterlife.
Mm-hmm. So that's why I get that. Yeah, because I know when you were telling me about that earlier, I was like, oh my gosh, that it makes so much
And
sense.
if anyone has a cat and they see the cat like dart, the head moving like darting, like they're following something,
Mhm.
either A, it's a bug, or two, it's a spirit.
And because well, see, I need to tell the viewers. So while before the show began, like a few hours, several hours ago, you and I had been talking for quite some time. We were talking about animals seeing spirits. So that's how this came about.
Yeah.
And
Uh
so yeah,
it's more cats that see spirits because there are spirit world protectors. The and canines are beloved dogs. There are physical world protectors
yes,
against physical world dangers
yes,
like
uh,
intruders.
yes.
Or there was one story that came from Australia. A family had just adopted a dog from a shelter.
Mhm.
The dad looks outside to see the kid and the dog playing, and he just sees the dog throw the kid. But what he didn't see was there was a deadly venomous snake in the grass.
Oh wow.
The dog was killing the kid out of harm's way.
Oh, oh wow. Thank God for that dog, right?
It got bit not once, not twice, but three times. The
Oh,
family ran outside. The dad grabbed the kid. The grandmother took a shovel and killed the snake. She took a shovel and killed the damn snake, no hesitation.
oh my gosh.
She beheaded the snake faster than you could. Now, a sharpshooter could pull a pistol. She just grabbed the shovel and killed it.
Mhm. Thank God, right?
Uh, the community they started a GoFundMe to raise the money for the antivenom because it was one of those snakes that they did not have the antivenom for.
Oh my gosh.
The dog survives, but they had to like get another snake to drain the venom from to make the antivenom from the dog.
Hmm.
But because one of the family members decided to do a GoFundMe because they needed to raise money for the antivenom, their their neighborhood came together for the dog.
Oh,
When
that's
they when they
wonderful.
put their story out on the internet,
Uh-huh.
people rallied for the dog to
Oh,
survive.
oh, I love those kind of stories. That's beautiful. I really do feel like our animals are here. They have, I honestly, for several reasons, okay? But yes, I do agree that they're also here to help protect us. And I also, and like my friend, I have a very close friend. Her name is Yvonne, and she has three cats, but she has one. Um, its name is Zorro, and it's a cat that actually came to her. Um,
It chose her.
meant to be, yes, meant to be. This
Also,
cat. Go ahead.
wait, isn't Zorro one of those legendary heroes from Mexico? Zorro. There was a story of Zorro. He was a thing of the the white stranger in like the Wild West. Like
Yeah, he
the
was something like that. Yeah.
but he was a Cape Crusader in the night that would go after like the people, the guys that were ripping the townsfolk off. And his signature was he used a sword and carved an X.
Yeah, he did that like a Z. Yeah. Mhm.
Uh, there was
Yeah.
a movie called Zorro, but
Yeah, something like
I
that.
can't remember the actor's name.
I don't know. I don't know. But I know with her cat now, like I can be standing because I feel energy. So I can be standing like I would say a good 6 feet from her cat, and I can feel the Zorro's present. I'm not kidding you. This is so strong, such an energy from this cat. Now her other two cats, yeah, I can feel her energy just like anything else. Okay. But not like Zorro's. So I really feel like, and I've told her this, that Zorro is her spirit animal in flesh, like in physical body, alive with her right now. Um, because that's exactly what I feel. Because yes, like you said, this cat chose her, but the energy coming from this cat is not. It's just not a normal cat. And I also have another friend that has a dog. Same thing. This dog, it's beautiful. It's not just a dog, and I really feel like there are situations where we're on a certain journey, and we we need that we need that spirit animal, or we need that extra protection on our journey during that time. um, and God works it out. The universe works it out to where that spirit animal can be in our lives, just like with you and the dragon. I have a white dragon. I think that's it's just so amazing. You know, I would have never have dreamed of saying, 10 years ago that I had a white dragon as a spirit guide. I didn't even know what a spirit guide was 10 years ago. But now I do because I've experienced it, and it's beautiful. And, how do you feel towards your spirit guide?
Uh, the two times that I physically saw like a manifestation of the dragon, more like a smoky wisp. I was being chased by, again, it was a part of my French, a big ass minotaur, oxby with the bullby with the ox head,
Uh huh.
chasing me down like a canyon that kept getting smaller and smaller. The first time it caught me. The second time I got caught. The third time, the dragon showed up, and my tattoo, the dragon tattoo I have, it's a Celtic cross with a dragon wrapped around it, and it appeared and said, "My king, use. I'll lend you some of my power. Just vanquish this intruder."
Hmm.
And literally, my body had been covered in dragon scales, and I felt this surge of power. So I charged at the Minotaur and vanquished it.
Hmm.
Again, I the dragon called me his king.
Right.
Was that connected to the two Irish past lives?
Right.
The
Right.
one where I got the dragon, and the following dream, the following life where I was a
Hmm.
king?
Right.
Two separate lives, unless they
Hmm.
were the same.
Right.
I don't know if they were the same.
Hmm.
Also, everyone, my camera does not have a auto focus feature, but it's focusing on something.
Okay.
See how I can move my hand and it's not trying to focus?
Yeah.
But just a second ago, it was focusing in and out.
Hmm.
It does not have a focus feature.
Wow.
It just did it again.
Yeah.
It's a USB camera. That's it. I have
Well,
no
there it went again.
I have no control if it zooms in and out.
It's still doing it. So let me be clear for anyone that's watching this that does not understand paranormal. Okay. So basically, what you are saying, Chris, is there is no reason for your camera to be trying to focus in and out like that.
Yeah,
Correct? Something else, some other energy is doing this.
yeah, something must be saying in my left. I'm going to try something, but first, before I actually use the necrophonic, because I simply want to know if something is here.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Let me just pull up my channel because in my community I have the Saint Michael prayer. Similarly for this kind of thing, I use it to make sure.
Hey, Chris, I have to run take a potty break because of my injuries. I can't hold it, guys. Honestly, this I can't help it. I'm going to go off screen just a minute. Chris, are you good to stay on and just
Yeah.
continue? Okay, because I'll be right back, okay?
Yeah, I was just grabbing grabbing the St. Michael's prayer. Let me see if I can. Hold on. Let me just pull up the chat. Pop out the chat. Close the window. That way I have the chat. If anyone sees me swing my hand, I'm not spazzing out. There's a fly in my room. Yeah, I've been told that door is a revolving door for spirits. There's no reason for my camera to be focusing on something. It does not have an autofocus feature. Hold on. I'm there. There's the St. Michael's prayer. I always do that before I use the necrophonic, simply as a means of a first line defense. Well, it'd be on. I think the spirit is on my left side.
I'm back. Sorry about that, everyone. Life. Okay, so what have we got here? Okay, so you did find the prayer.
Yeah, I have it on my channel in my community tab.
Oh, wonderful.
And I posted it. I had to split it up into two because YouTube only allows you to do like 200 characters.
Okay. Right. That yeah. So okay, let me go back.
Fox, this is my bedroom.
Okay, so she said, "Oh my gosh!" So the door was moving. I missed it. Darn it!
It's subtle. There's a latch. Right now I have the blanket over my bed because if you saw earlier before we did the stream, my bed was a mess, so I had to fix it because I've been chewed out for that before.
You've been chewed out before?
For my bed being a mess.
Oh. So, so now, Chris, it's getting close to time. I would like to, before we have to close, I would like to speak a little bit more. Let's see, we already talked about that. If you don't mind, about this, you had spoken to me before about the bird's eye view. When I travel a lot, I honestly I call it remote viewing because I honestly don't know. I've researched what remote viewing is. It sounds like the same thing. I just know my spirit travels all over the universe. I see different beings. I communicate with them. I don't know. So I'm going to call it remote viewing. Okay. just because that's the only way I know to speak it. But I know that a lot of times I will remote view and it will be a bird eye view. I'll be shown things in vision, not remote viewing, but like, something that's getting ready to happen for myself or other people. And sometimes it'll be like a bird's eye view. And then all of a sudden it's like I am a satellite you know, up past our planet. I'm this satellite, and then all of a sudden I'm zoomed in on something, but I'm still above it looking. Um, can you explain to the viewers, like what you're talking about, like having this bird eye view sometimes with things?
It's. I'm trying to remember what I was talking about when I said bird's eye view.
Yeah, we were talking about that sometimes like your memories, sometimes you remember in a bird's eye.
It that it's more like I'm myself am seeing from another point of view,
Mm-hmm.
almost like remote viewing, like a a almost like a TV to the past.
Yeah.
That would be the only way for us to do time travel is to view the past, not travel to the past.
Mm-hmm.
That
So
would be the only way for time travel to actually work.
so it's kind of like what I would describe it. Now, I don't have all the answers. I describe things because I'm still learning every day and I will learn every day. Because I started late, in my 40s, actually starting getting information so that I understood, what was going on. I was in my 30s that I actually realized by watching an Oprah show that I was a psychic medium. Then it took years, after my near death experience, that God and the divine actually started working with me in baby steps so I was in my 40s, so I'm doing the best I can to explain with the terminology that I know. Okay, so please bear with me. But it's kind of like um, when I go in, like when I do a reading for someone and I ask to be taken into the Akashic records. So it's kind of like what you're describing to me is what I would describe as being given information from the Akashic records about your past. So it's kind of like the same thing.
Yeah. Uh, I just wish I knew more about my past lives because I had mentioned earlier, right after I got rid of the one being that was trying to infiltrate my being, and I got rid of it, a
Hmm.
doorway opened and another. I assume it was my one of my past lives. Uh, wearing modern clothes, but you could feel that he had authority in life. But you could see that he was built like he could fight, like he was a trained warrior,
Hmm.
like chiseled body.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
And he tells me there's a war coming. You have very little time to learn everything, and your training will start soon. That I don't know what he means.
Okay.
Because I remember a while back, a couple friends were like feeling like something was trying to break down the gates of hell, either from our side or from the other side.
Okay.
And what I believe is that there are four guards that are appointed, very strong beings that were never earthly beings,
Okay.
appointed, I believe, by the man upstairs to guard the gates of hell to make sure to maintain the balance of light and dark in the universe.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
now I know people might be from other cultures, they might have different beliefs. Other cultures have other gods. I believe all these gods were real.
I do too.
But the one they fear is the father of all, the man of stairs.
Yes.
Zeus could be the father of the gods, but you mentioned his creator, then he
Mm-hmm.
gets scared.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was talking with a friend, and well, let's just say that the all the gods of all cultures, doesn't matter how many there are thousands,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and still, the one they call father is a man above all.
Mm-hmm.
They also refer to Jesus as brother because in their realm, all of the gods and goddesses are sons and daughters of God,
Mm-hmm.
including the Titans,
Right. Right.
who sheltered Zeus when his father was eating his siblings. Gaia, Mother Earth,
Mm-hmm.
Mother Nature.
Right.
They're all the same being because Gaia is the force of Earth.
Mm-hmm.
She sheltered Zeus until he was old enough to take down his father.
Well, and too, to your point. Now I have experiences where I wake up on spacecraft. Now, most of the time, the beings, how they present themselves to me, they look like us. Now, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're a mixture of human and animal. Sometimes they're totally different. But on the most part, I see different races of human beings on these spacecraft. So, see, and I also know the book of Enoch, which was kept from the Bible on purpose, that was found with all kinds of other hidden scrolls that were hidden scrolls, not lost scrolls, hidden scrolls. There's a message there. But in the book of
Perhaps there was
Enoch,
information
right. And in the book of
that was
Enoch,
meant to be kept until the time was right.
yes, and in the book of Enoch, it literally is spoken about. It's written that Enoch taught was speaking to um, uh, Yahweh. Okay, now Yahweh, as far as in some of the cultures here in the United States and some of the religions, well, that's God. That's who we refer to as God. Now,
The natives referred to as a great spirit.
yes. So the thing is, it's like, okay, so apparently Yahweh was on this spacecraft, that they had brought Enoch onto this spacecraft. But when I talk to people, now I won't say everybody, but most people here in Kentucky, um, a lot of people have a hard time thinking, I'll ask, what if angels are, that what they described as angels? What if they're extraterrestrial?
That would
What?
make sense.
Right,
That
right.
would make sense of
Uh
why
huh.
they're so powerful.
Yeah.
They augmented their body to be powerful, but what I also saw someone else say, I think it was last stream, angels are like insanely tall and have more than two eyes.
Yes, they can. Yes, they can. They can appear in so many different ways.
And
Hmm.
the one I know will always answer the call when you call his name in Saint Michael
Yes. Yes.
because he is a warrior.
Oh, yes. Yes. Actually, Saint. Yes. Archangel Michael. is with me right now. Actually, has been.
And the funny thing is that if you take your name, Michelle, and translate it into Italian and then back into English, Michelle translates from English to Italian back to English is Michael.
Oh, what? Are you serious?
Yes, if you translate Michelle into uh, Italian and then translate that name back to English, it's Michael.
Hmm. Wow.
Also, my friend, the one I was talking about, the one that's my little sister,
Hmm.
she's hiding in chat right now because she's still in class because she's on the other side of the country.
Yeah.
But she's just hiding. She knows. She sent me a message on Discord saying, "I'm just hiding. I'm still in class." Sis, I know you're there.
Right. Hi, sis. Okay, so Chris, I believe we probably need to go ahead and start
Yeah.
going ahead and letting this come to a close because people are probably starting to get tired, and I know I'm getting tired energetically, right? I want us to continue this as soon as I go ahead and shut this down. But Chris, this has been, oh my gosh, I knew it was going to be phenomenal beforehand. I had no idea this was going to be this interesting. I
Uh,
am so blessed.
Before we end it, I just want to see if this about my Civil War past life.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to try not. I'm going to try and keep my language clean.
Okay.
But the same bastard that shot President Lincoln, when he was running from the law, ran to my town, and the wife was out because she was, I guess, I don't know what she was, but I know that she did work for the government. I don't know if she like gathered intel, like going undercover
Uh-huh.
or what. But Mr. Booth decided to grab my daughter and said, "Who wants a slave?" Because she was, I guess, the mom was half white, half African American,
Okay.
and somehow Booth knew the kid was mixed race.
Oh.
So I did what any dad would do. I tackled the SOB and beat the crap out of him
Mm-hmm.
until the military showed up and said, I told him, "Can you please get this trash out of my town?" He tried to kidnap my daughter.
Mm-hmm. Now and again, now
And
you're
then they saw that I had my commander sword on me, and they were like, "We're sorry for the trouble he caused. We'll take him away." They saw that I had my cavalry sword on me because I was a commander.
okay.
Once they saw that, they knew that I was part of their rank, their commanding officer, because I noticed from their accent they were Irish. So even though I was not in uniform,
Uh-huh.
I still kept my sword on me.
So they knew.
Yeah, they were like, "Sorry for the trouble, Commander," and they literally took him away.
So you were like, so basically throughout lifetime after lifetime that you can remember, because again, it seems like it's in increments
Yeah,
with me too, and a lot of other people I talk back that talk back that I talk to that have had pre-birth memories or past life memories say theirs are in increments as well. It's not like they can remember the whole lifetime. Just certain points that are important, like we're allowed to remember because they were significant and somehow assist us in our lifetime now, which I think is fantastic. But I just, Chris, this
yeah.
has been so amazing. Um, and everyone that has joined, I give you so much appreciation. I cherish each and every one of you. This has been absolutely phenomenal. And hopefully, Bluegrass Family Paranormal, hopefully soon you will come on my show and tell us some of your experiences. And I know the Eli family is going to be coming on soon. So, again, much love to you. I love in each and I can't get it out. I'm still excited. I love each and every one of you so much. Much love. Bye bye.
Welcome.